Hey everyone, I went out for my walk and I try to get out for at least 20 minutes every day, 20 to 30 minutes, and I had a nice big breakfast this morning, so I'm just going to make myself a burger for this evening. I bought some little meat patties from the local store and some bread buns. It's really sad when you walk past, you see there's increasing homelessness here in our area. I've seen 2 or 3 men that are sitting on the side of the roads. Normally I do stop if I have money with me so I can give them something, but since I myself am not working, I don't have anything, so I just walk past them. But I did go out checking the windows and going for a nice walk. We still have these lovely hot summer days, so it's good to get out. And I wanted to move on to the next chapter of this book, and it's the law of empowerment. There are no limits to success when we do not limit people. So in our world, unfortunately, we do have barriers, we do have discrimination, we do have limits that people put on us, but we also believe that with God's presence in our lives, those limits can be broken, because what's impossible for us is possible for God working through us. And the good thing about success is that when we succeed, the people around us also succeed, because as we succeed, we empower others. There's no point in us being successful if we're not sharing our skills and knowledge and what we've learned. And the more we can share with our organizations, the more the organization will want to keep us, because we will be a resource for them. And as we hopefully, but in today's world that doesn't seem to be happening, but that is the ideal. The ideal is that as we succeed, others will be happy for us, and they'll be happy that we are coming up, and that's how societies come up, and that's how societies change and people rise together. But that was the message for today. And John Maxwell gives the examples from Acts 9, 1 to 31 to read. If you want to read the scriptures, you can look them up on the internet, or if you have a Bible, you can focus on that. And you never know where that person that you touched, that success that you helped build, you never know where that person is going to land up. And it's a good thing to remember that in life, because some of us came from very poor communities. We came from Zimbabwe, we came from Zambia, we came from communities that were very, very poor. And we've landed up in countries where there are rich resources, there are rich opportunities, but only a few people are getting them. So the conditions that are being created by our governments, by the people around us, also impact us. And that's why we need artists, we need singers, we need plays, we need all these things, because they bring a message into society that helps people to accept change and also to hold our governments accountable. That's why when Hitler came into power, he shut down the libraries, he shut down plays, theaters, churches, because they are all the building blocks that give people the skills to think. When we read different books, different genres, different biographies, when we listen to different music, we get a different perspective on life and on what influences us. So that was the reading for today, and when we build up our teams, we can lift them up. We can either lift up people or we can limit people. It's up to us how we look at things and what we see. And everybody has limitations. We know our own limitations, our strengths and our weaknesses. And I keep this little card. It's a card from Blessed Sacrament that was given to us by Father Larry. And before I do my talks, I always pray this prayer, and then I do my talks, and I ask God to bless them, that they go out and that they reach the right people. And you can just look at our world and see what's happening to our world. not only here in Canada, but in other places. I'm happy that Zimbabwe is going to get rain. It might not be in time to save everything, but at least it's better than nothing, because the El Nino has been very, very bad in Southern Africa. And as usual, it's the poorest of the poor that get affected the most. It's the people that don't have the means for the transportation to take the vaccines, to take the food. It's the people who grow their own local crops and they have subsistence farming. Those are the people that get hurt the most. So when I do my volunteering work, those are the people that we are trying to reach. The people in the cities, yes, most of them, the shelves are full, you can get everything. But again, if you don't have a job like me in Canada, it doesn't matter how full the shelves are or how rich the country is, lives are not changing, lives are not flourishing, lives are not improving. So that's something that we work on when we do our volunteering, whether it's with Out of the Cold, the Fred Victor Society, the Daily Bread Food Bank, Young Street Mission, in our churches. Those are the things that we do at the local level because we try to help others. And many times when I've gone out to help to serve the meals at the tables, many times you'll see people come dressed up in their business suits after work because they might be working, but they can't afford to buy that meal. They can't afford to feed themselves and clothe themselves. So people will take, they have places here where you can give your clothes and people will go take the clothes from there, the old bed sheets, even dress clothes for work. We have a lot of good stores like Winners where you can get all these high-end clothes for cheap prices. They might have a little flaw in them here and there, but they're still very good quality. So Canada is very blessed in that way, and things have changed slowly over time. It didn't happen like all at once, overnight. Things have been going down for a long time, and it's been like this since 2008. Since the recession hit, it's been like this. So I hope things will change for us for the better in Canada, because also companies that are cutting corners and cutting costs, they're taking the jobs to Africa. They're taking the jobs to where they can get cheap labor. And then people here don't have jobs, but all the people there are leaving there to come here. So let's see what happens. I mean, we have to wait and see, because the rest of us don't get treated the way we should be. And you get abused. Even if there's labor laws and all these things, the companies do whatever they want, and they have big lawyers to protect them. So, there's only so much you can do. If you're fortunate and you land up with good managers, good supervisors, they'll look out for you because it benefits them. But if you land up in companies where they don't care because they know that, they'll just pay that fine, like the regulators came down on the banks here, they'll just pay that fine and they'll carry on. And what is going to change? Unless that culture changes internally, nothing changes. So that's what we do with John Maxwell. We go in, we take our skills, we help to implement a culture change, we help to help companies grow. And I've done a lot of work with immigrants, new immigrants to Canada. At the Air Canada Centre, I've helped to organize events. I've been a facilitator with CEOs at the table. And so that's my passion, and that's what I do. I try to help others avoid the same pitfalls that I had, because I didn't have people to guide me. So I share my skills with others, because all of us are leaders. Anybody connected with me on Facebook is a leader. And they're also helping their nieces, their nephews, their brothers, their sisters, their families. They're also helping their sons and daughters to get jobs in England if they can't get jobs here, or to go somewhere else. And that's the way it should be. It's the same reason that people in our families left and they went to America, because they wanted better lives for themselves and for their families. And their families have done well. They've got properties, they've got cars, they've had stable employment. For those of us who have come here on our own, we've tried to help each other. I've tried to help my sister, she's tried to help me. But if you don't have that support in place, where people are going to help you to get into those good paid jobs, they're going to promote you internally, or they're going to say, okay, you know what, Belinda's really, her life's being wasted here. Let's help her to get a good executive assistant job in England. Or, you know what, I'm in Singapore, let me take her to Singapore. If you don't have people like that in your life who are willing to do that for you, your life will stay the same or it will get worse. Because I can tell you, I've done everything right in this country. I've invested in my skills, in my education. I've taken any work that's available. I've used my skills to help companies come up, and I haven't gotten the rewards that I should. So it's a very difficult position, but I still keep doing the best that I can, and I still keep going out and looking and trying to get those project coordinator roles or project administrator roles, executive assistant work, all the skills that I have. I go on and I look for those jobs and I apply for them. And that's all that anybody can do. So pass on the knowledge, pass on the skills, and if you do have opportunities for me to help your organizations, then do let me know. I'm self-made in Canada. I've had to do it on my own. Nobody's sponsored me. Nobody's paid for my education. Nobody's helped me to get my credentials. So I can pass on what I've learned to others, and I can help others along the way.